Dear friends, welcome to Know Thyself YouTube channel. Good morning. Hope you are all staying safe and keeping well. I sincerely thank all of you who have subscribed to this channel and follow the channel. If you find the contents of the videos uploaded in this channel useful, please subscribe to this channel and click the notification or the bell icon so that you can be notified when a video is uploaded. Kindly share the videos with others or on the internet. In the last episode of Know Your Mind segment, we briefly considered the nature and characteristics of language disorders. In this episode, we analyze the classification of language disorders by briefly considering its three types. Children are born into this world almost pre-programmed to learn the language of their environment. Though it might appear automatic for children to read, speak, and understand the communication occurring around them, the pace at which these skills are learned vary among children. For language learning competence, that is, learning of a language and its use, depends on expressive and receptive abilities or aptitudes of children. Expressive ability or aptitude refers to the production and giving out verbal or gestural signs, while receptive ability or aptitude consists in the process of receiving and understanding language. Hence, persons with language disorder may have impairments in expressive aptitudes, in receptive aptitudes, or in both. Thus, we can speak of three types of language disorders, namely expressive language disorder, receptive language disorder, and mixed expressive receptive language disorder. We briefly consider each. Expressive language disorder. Expressive language disorder comes about when children or other persons do not meet their developmental milestones regarding their ability to produce meaningful language by translating their thoughts into words, phrases, and sentences. Though they have no problem in understanding what others are saying, when it comes to expressing their own thoughts, they have trouble getting their message across, as they struggle to put words together into sentences that make sense. Thus, expressive language disorder consists in the affected person's inability to compose their thoughts, ideas, and messages, and to use written, spoken, or symbolic language to communicate their thoughts and feelings. Thus, when affected by expressive language disorder, persons will have difficulty using the right words while speaking, may find it hard to combine words to make sentences, will have limited vocabulary, will struggle to put sentences together correctly and meaningfully, will have problems in asking or answering questions, and may use improper grammar while communicating. Expressive language disorder affects people in different stages of their development diversely. We briefly mention how expressive language disorder impacts people of different ages. Preschool children with expressive language disorder begin speaking late compared to other kids of the same age, leave out words, have lower than average vocabulary, use gestures to help them get points across with others, and have trouble with early language skills like rhyming. Primary school children with expressive language disorder use vague words like thing or stuff when speaking, struggle remembering words, have trouble using words correctly, seem withdrawn as they do not speak much, and say sounds like ah and ha, to stall for time when struggling for words. Middle school children with expressive language disorder avoid interacting with teachers and peers, have a limited vocabulary compared to the kids of the same age, pauses or gives short and simple answers to complex questions, jumble tenses and drop words. High school children with expressive language disorder do not tell stories in a logical way, leave out pronouns and verbs in writing assignments, avoid social interactions, and do not join group conversations. Adults with expressive language disorder struggle to make small talk at work, do not interact much with colleagues, use short and simple sentences, use simple phrases over and over, and may have difficulties giving presentations. Receptive language disorder. Receptive language disorder has to do with comprehension of message one receives from others. People with this disorder struggle to get the meaning of what others are saying. As a result, they often respond in ways that do not make sense. Thus, when a person faces difficulty in understanding what is communicated through language, spoken or written, that person is said to have receptive language disorder. When affected by receptive language disorder, one may have difficulty in understanding written words and sentences, attending to speech of others, following instructions and directions, learning new things, and making sense of oral communication. They also may have difficulty processing simple gestures to come, go, or sit and comprehending them. Receptive language disorder is developmental, and affected persons display receptive challenges from preschool stage and can continue into adulthood. We briefly mention how receptive language disorder impacts people of different ages. Preschool children with receptive language disorder do not seem to be listening, have trouble following directions, and have problems identifying objects. Primary school children with receptive language disorder have trouble answering questions, wait to see what other kids do before acting, have trouble focusing when someone is talking, particularly when there is background noise, only do half of the given task, seem to be listening but do not act, give responses that are not related to the conversation or that are not very specific, interrupt people who are speaking. Often they ask people to repeat themselves and have limited vocabulary than other kids of the same age. Middle and high school children with receptive language disorder have hard time following group conversations, rarely ask questions or make comments during conversation or class discussions, remember details but do not get the bigger context, misunderstand what has been said, do not understand jokes as jokes but takes them literally, seem uninterested in conversation, and avoid joining after school clubs or activities. Adults with receptive language disorder do not understand language used at work, have trouble keeping up with what people say at meetings, have hard time answering questions in meetings, do not respond when people say something, seem shy and withdrawn, avoid social gatherings, and misinterpret conversations and take things in the wrong way. Mixed expressive-receptive language disorder. Mixed expressive-receptive language disorder consists in a person lacking in both comprehending and expressing language. People with this disorder struggle with both understanding and using language. People, whether children, teenagers, or adults, who struggle with any one or more of the above described language disorders often feel isolated, frustrated, and embarrassed as they interfere with learning, working, and daily living. These disorders can take a toll on the affected person's self-esteem and confidence, make socializing difficult, and affect at school, work, and interacting socially. Hence, it is important to speak about the causes, diagnosis, and treatment of these disorders. This would be our task in the next episode. Thank you for watching this video. Stay blessed until we see you again with another video.